Okay, so wait, hold on, let's fix this. Okay. Oof. All right. So my name is Boston Beach, and I'm gonna be doing just a breakdown of the Memphis Grizzlies so far. So I'm a big fan, and so far I've been struggling. I mean, the Grizzlies have been struggling a lot. And watching the first few couple of games, I've been sad, to say the least. So I'm gonna break down all the players and just put my opinions on them. So first of all, I'm gonna start with Ja Morant. So as y'all know, Ja Morant is suspended for the first 25 games because of a gun incident, which is very controversial, but it is what it is. So yeah. So obviously the Grizzlies are gonna struggle with Ja Morant out for the first 25 games, but when he comes back, he's gonna have to pick up where he left off for the Grizzlies to be successful. And Ja's gonna have to space the ball, and that's what we're struggling with right now. Without Ja Morant, we're not spacing the ball as well, and that's a big struggle for us. And then also we'll have another primary scorer on the court because Desmond Bain is great, but he can't do it all. We need Ja Morant out there. Moving on to Desmond Bain, like so far as I've seen, he's been exploding as a primary scorer for us, and could be a top shooting guard in the league if he continues at this pace. He's shooting very well and consistently and creating his own shots, which is good for him. And we need him to continue to do this. But he also needs to work on his handling the ball and keeping the turnovers in place to a minimum, because he struggled with that a little bit. But I'm excited to see how he does the rest of the year. So we got Jaren next, and he's picking up where he left off last year. He's continued to dominate on defense and offensively as well. And I can already see that he's getting better at offense, and especially in shooting the three and his inside game as well. But we're gonna have to need him to put up 23 to 25 points a game for us to be contenders and have a chance in the chip. And he also is doing a good job of spacing the floor and letting Bane and Smart ISO and getting good shot opportunities from shooters in the corner. And moving on to Marcus Smart, I'm loving him right now. He's playing phenomenal and exceeding the shoes of Dylan Brooks, and he's also spacing the floor out, like I said, with his he's actually got a very solid 3-point shot so far. And like in his past in the Celtics, I don't think he was known as too big of a shooter, but he's hitting some big shots for us. And then he won Defensive Player of the Year last year or 2 years ago. So now we have Jaren and Marcus Smart on the floor, both Defensive Player of the Year players, and he's picking up big players like Luka, Jamal Murray, and Jordan Poole, and I think he's doing a good job of replacing the defense lost in Dylan Brooks, and he's getting a good amount of steals too, and that's big. And he's also making some good passes and playmaking, in that aspect. And I'm starting to really like him, like I said, because I liked him in the Celtics, but now he's in Memphis. I mean, let's hope he can stay healthy. And then moving on to Xavier Tillman, X. I'm a Xavier Tillman fan. He's developing pretty well as a player, and I can see some improvement from last year already. But he's filling the shoes of Steve Adams, who got some surgery on his knee. He's out for the whole year, which is very, very unfortunate. And but he's struggling with some turnovers and handling the ball a little bit. But I'm excited to see what he can do the rest of the year. And then we got Zaire Williams, which he's also developing as a player. I can see a lot of improvement as well from him. But something I'm noticing is that he's struggling to have some confidence and shooting the ball. Like, he's feeling hesitant. I wish that he would just shoot it right when he catches the ball. But he's a pretty solid young player, and I can see him developing very well in the near future. Um. Okay, I'll move on to Derrick Rose here. D Rose, he has some big shoes to fill. From once Ja gets back, he'll be the backup point guard. Um, and yeah, so last year we had Ty Jones, and obviously he was a great point guard. I mean, in my opinion, he was one of the best backup point guards in the league. With the best, what is it? Turnover to assist ratio. I think he had the best one of those in the past 6 years, something like that. But Derrick Rose is, so far, he's looking pretty good. I mean, I'm liking him a lot. But he also is facing a knee injury right now, but I don't think that'll affect him too much. I think I don't think I'll put him in jeopardy. I think he's out for like a week or so. And I've seen some glimpses of the prime D Rose in him, and I mean, if that comes out, then that comes out. Like, that'll be great. But you never know. I think this should be a solid backup point guard for us. Move on to big body Roddy, David Roddy. He's developing into a very solid role player for us, and is, like he was in college, great spot up shooter. Can create some of his own shots, drives the paint, get fouled. He's actually, like, unlike Zaire, I like his confidence and his knowledge of the game, and he has quick decision making, and I think he can develop into a very solid player for us. And I hope we continue to develop him, and he stays with us for the next few years. Now we got Luke Kennard. I'm actually pretty disappointed in Luke this year. There's only been 5 games, but he hasn't played too much, but he's been missing a lot of his threes. And compared to last year when he had the best 3-point percentage in the league, and now first game he goes over 6. What's going on there? He's struggling to shoot the ball, and I'm gonna hope that they can shape up into how he was last year and get some more PT. But he's not playing too much right now. I'm a Luke fan, and last year was very exciting when he just hit the big shots, and it's great to see. So let's hope he can shape up into what he was last year. Now I'm gonna move on to John Conchar, Jitty. He's playing some solid minutes for the Grizzlies. He's not playing too much, but he's playing some effective minutes. But yeah, he can hit the big shots when he's needed. He's pretty gritty on defense, and I like that from him. He's getting actually surprisingly some big boards. Like in the first couple games I've been watching, he's got a bunch of rebounds. Like I think he's averaging like 6 or 7 as a guard, small forward. Like that's pretty damn good. And let's just hope he can continue to play like he did last year. Now I want to get into some players that we haven't seen much of or hasn't played that much. I'm gonna start with Jake LaRavia. I mean, there's not too much to say about him. He's still developing him as a rookie, and let's hope he can play good in practice and get some PT. I know in the summer league he played pretty good, so let's see what Jake can do. Kenneth Lofton, I just finished watching the Grizzlies Jazz game. Terrible performance from us, but Kenneth Lofton got out there a little bit. He got to the line a few times, and he's getting a few opportunities, and let's hope he can continue that and get on the floor. He played great in the G League. I think he won Rookie of the Year for the G League a few years ago, last year. And let's hope that can translate to the NBA, because he could be a big asset for our team if he can develop. Alright, now the injured players. The Grizzlies kryptonite, injuries. Starting off with Steven Adams. He got surgery on his knee nearly a few weeks ago. Devastating news for the Grizzlies. I just wish we had this man right now. We're missing his rebounding, his spacing of the floor, and his screens that he's setting. If we had all of those right now, we would be a completely different team. Like, I think that if we had Steven Adams, we would legitimately be a contender for the championship. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a stretch, but he's a great asset to the team, and that was a big loss for us. And yeah, and this is obviously showing without him, because 0-6, like 0-5. Come on now. We just got hope for a speedy recovery, and I think he's out all year this year, but hopefully next year he can come back and do what he's been doing, or we might trade him. I don't know. We just picked up Bismack Biyombo. He's not played in yet, but we'll see what he can do. And then next up we got Brandon Clark. Tough injury there. Suffered some injury last year and still suffering the Achilles injury. we gotta hope that he can come back as quick as possible, as we need him. We need another big man out there. Like Tillman can't do it all. Like we're missing a lot of big freshmen that's playing a big effect on the rebounding and the paint defense and all that. Yeah, so there's been news that he might not come back this year, but like I gotta hope he can have a speedy recovery because we're gonna need him, especially in the playoffs if we can even get there. Yeah, and we're missing his explosiveness off the bench and his energy because he always brought that every game. It was great for us. And yeah, he also missing the putbacks and rebounds that he always brought for us in the iconic John Moran lobs to Brandon Clark's big energy momentum shifts for us. And then last week, we got Santi Aldama, who was facing a little bit of injury in his ankle, but he should be back pretty soon. But we've been missing his 3-point shooting and his just overall depth in the bench. And yeah, let's hope he can come back and fit back into the rotation. So yeah, that's about all the players. A little run through of them, not too much, just my opinions on the Grizzlies and what's going on so far. So I think this year is going to be a very different team than I was hoping for, like the end of last year. In the last year, I was expecting to be like an actual contender, like for the championship and go far in the playoffs. And then freaking injuries, man. The worst thing in basketball and all sports, injuries that can change a whole team. And like along with the John Morant suspension, like just changing our whole changing the way we play every game because we have different players that haven't played as much, all have as much experience. Like, gosh. Although I think that the Grizzlies can pick it up, especially when Ja gets back, and hopefully get in the playoffs and do solid. And that's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, I'm gonna continue to support the Grizzlies no matter what, no matter for the best team in the league, worst team in the league. I'll be a Grizzlies fan, repping that since 2001. So yeah, that's about it. It's my first podcast. I might get out here a little more, talk about sports, basketball, the Grizzlies, whatever's on my mind. So yeah, thanks for watching.